Welcome to the Trashstation podcast, your gaming podcast, all about the weird, unknown, and forgotten video games. I am your host, Chris, here with my co-host, Max. How are you doing today, Max?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks, Chris. And, you know, in our friend circle, we're known to play mostly trashy games. We're talking anime games, retro games you've never heard of, D&D, stuff on itch.io, and everything in between.
And as usual, we'll add those games to our tier list. We call it the Landfill, chat about our creative hobbies, and shout out some of our favorite content creators on the internet.
Awesome. Now, Max,
yeah, we've got a lot of games to talk about today.
We do, especially you.
Especially me.
I had to scrape a bit to find some stuff to play. But,
you didn't have to scrape, because like some of this stuff that I'm going to talk about, there's not much to say, if I'm being honest with you. So, how about we start with some of these smaller games that I played,
all right,
and kind of just knock them out and get them out of the way. I've got, I think 4 here. So let's start with Soul Blade. Soul Blade is the first game in the Soul Calibur series. Are you familiar with this one?
No, I'm not. I think I've only played the one on the GameCube.
Okay, that was a good one. Arguably the best one. Not my favorite version of Soul Calibur 2, but I prefer the PS2 version because it had Heihachi from Tekken instead of Link, but Link was still really cool. Anyway, Soul Blade was the first game in the series. It originally came out in 99, I believe, and I played the PS1 version, and it's a little dated, if I'm being honest with you, which is probably not a surprise for a 3D fighting game that came out that long ago, but it's still good. I think it still holds up pretty well, and you can see where the series was going after that one, because a lot of the ways that characters move and interact with each other have continued to carry through even into the most modern iterations of Soul Calibur.
Okay, but it's still like 3D on the 3D plane, like in the circle thing?
Yep, it's still on the 3D plane.
Okay, cool.
So, just like Virtua Fighter was, just with weapons instead. And it's got a really small roster. There's only, I think, 10 characters that you can choose from.
Yeah, that's fairly small, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's still pretty good. I don't think this is one that I would go back to and play like a lot, but I wanted to go back and play it just because I finally found a physical copy of it, and I don't know. I just was in the mood to play a fighting game that I hadn't played before, so decided to pop it in, play a few matches, and it's good.
Cool. Did you do the old story mode, or did you just toyed around?
I just toyed around with the arcade mode. I beat the arcade mode with a few of the characters and called it good for right now.
Cool. And what do you say is the most what is the most different thing between like the first one and the second one? Like what was upgraded so much between the two?
Speed and fluidity. So in Soul Blade, a lot of your attacks don't combo into anything else, at least not apparently. I didn't like get deep into fighting game tech or anything, but it felt slow and heavy, and like you would complete a move and then just go back to like your stock standard like ready pose, and then you would be able to execute a second move after. It seemed like it was a lot harder to chain attacks together, and just everything felt sluggish in comparison to the newer games.
Okay. Well, it had to start somewhere, right?
Yep.
And if you compare that to like the other fighting games, like the other 3D fighting games, that was pretty much the norm of being kind of slow at that time.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you compare it to like Virtua Fighter, the first Virtua Fighter, or even Virtua Fighter 2, which I believe was 98, or like Tekken, which was also right around that same time. I think Tekken was 97, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, I would say it's comparable to like that style of game. I think it's better than what Mortal Kombat was trying to do in the late 90s there when they released like Mortal Kombat 4. Because I don't think that one is actually that great. But yeah, I would say if you like Tekken 1, or if you like Virtua Fighter 1, you'll probably like Soul Blade.
Nice.
And I would say that this exists in the this is fine category for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fine choice.
Yeah. It's not gonna blow you away, but it's also not going to win any awards these days.
Yeah, I bet it wouldn't. And like with so many fighting games, once like the updated versions are there, like the sequels, you cannot really remake those earlier entries. They've already been fixed by having a sequel.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think some of the old fighting games are still very much worth going back to. Like Soul Calibur 2 is my favorite fighting game. I think that it still plays very, very well, even in comparison to the newest game, Soul Calibur 6. I mean, obviously Street Fighter 2 and I like the Street Fighter Alpha series quite a bit. I think those are well worth going back to, even in comparison to more modern Street Fighter. Like they obviously play a little bit differently, but so I don't think there's any harm in going back and playing some of these old fighting games, especially ones that have held up over the test of time.
Nice. Do you want to kick another one out while you're doing those little games?
Yeah, I do. I got a couple others that I want to talk about real quick. Let's talk about FIFA 14. So it's getting close to being the start of Major League Soccer season here in North America. So I was starting to get the itch for some soccer. So I decided to pop in FIFA 14, which is the only FIFA game that I own physically. And I have like FIFA 24 on PS4 or PS5 that was given away for with PS Plus. And I've not played that version. This is actually the only FIFA game I've played since the Nintendo 64, back when I was like a little kid.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't typically play like traditional sports games. They're just not really my thing, but I was wanting to play some soccer, so I'm here in Kansas City, and I support Sporting Kansas City, our local MLS team. So I wanted to, and we've not been doing well the last few years.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, not placing well. There's been like, since it's been like strings of injuries with, good players that have been on the team for 8 years that are getting old, that can't keep up with the younger talent coming in. Whole mess of problems that hopefully the club will fix. So I wanted to go back to, well, FIFA 14 is close to like their glory days when they were still doing really, really well, and play with some of the old players who are no longer on the team. And I took Sporting KC through the MLS Cup and the what's the other cup here in the States? I don't remember. The US Open Cup. That's what it is. So I played a full season of FIFA 14, and I did not cheat any of the results. Each of the matches are only like 20 minutes long. And for the MLS Cup, I think it was 30 games that I had to play. So, I mean, it took a little while to get through it. But yeah, I was really bad at this when I first started. It was not easy. Yeah. Like, I was getting in places where I would, feel like I should be able to score a goal, and then I would just get stopped. And so, like, my first 7 or 8 games, I was doing not well, and I was just taking the losses, and then I kind of figured out the rhythm of it, and I had some games where, like, I won, like 5-0, which is a really high score line in soccer.
Yeah.
And then I had other games where, like, it would be a 1-1 draw, and I'd be like, well, that was, still a really fun game. It was tough defending, and it was tough on the offense. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun to play a sports game that I actually had some interest in, just because I don't normally follow sports too much.
Yeah, true. And really not an important question, but I think in those games, the MLS teams, they don't have their real stadium and stuff. Like you don't actually go from city to city. It's like a generic stadium for everyone.
Yeah, they were all generic stadiums.
Yeah.
I think at that
That's
time,
not a shame, but yeah.
Yeah, I think in 2013, a lot of the MLS teams didn't have their own stadiums yet, because it was around that time that a lot of the soccer teams in North America were starting to get their stadiums. A lot of them were still playing out of like the local football stadium or baseball stadiums.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know.
Yeah. So, like, we didn't get our stadium here in Kansas City. I believe it was 2015 when that finally finished getting built.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, generic stadiums were fine. Like honestly, the stadium backgrounds look pretty garbage anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure for the time.
Yeah. But this is on PS3, so it's not a super high fidelity game anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mind if I take a couple more?
Was you'd have to put it on the list first.
Yeah, I almost forgot. Let's this is fine. This is also just fine. It's not going to blow your socks off. I can see, actually, I can really see, especially at this point in time, like the PS3 360 era, why people were getting sucked into, sports games like this. If you're a fan of the sport, I mean, there's like probably 15, somewhere between, I didn't look at all of them, but somewhere between like 15 and 30 championships that you can play through.
Wow.
In this soccer game, because it has basically all the leagues from around the world. So, there's the South American leagues and the European leagues and everything. And I don't follow all of that, so I didn't do any of that extra stuff. Mm-hmm. But like, if you're into that and you're following all of these teams, there's a lot there for somebody who's a fan of a sport. And no loot boxes. So
yeah, exactly. It's before that time. So they're complete sports games.
Yeah.
Still available today. So yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, this is fine. Seems a very reasonable place to put it. Another game that I think is just fine is Marvel Rivals. Have you played this at all yet?
No, I haven't played either. The game that's I haven't played Overwatch either. So
okay, yeah, I never played Overwatch either.
But yeah, I don't know much about those games.
So I decided to stream this with my friend Mike. And if you ever did play, if any of our listeners ever did play Overwatch, it's basically that. It's a 3-on-3 hero shooter. You pick a character, you go into a match, you have an objective on the map that you have to complete, and you're going. Oh, actually, this is not 3-on-3; it's 6-on-6. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
And you have choices of the different types of characters that you can play. So you have all of your like DPS characters, and then you have like tech based characters, and then some other. It wasn't quite like defense characters, but something that it was kind of like a mix between the like high tech characters and the just DPS characters. And yeah, to sit down and play this for a couple of hours, I had a good time with it. I don't know if I would go back and spend a lot of time with this game. Like if somebody wanted to play with me, I'd probably hop on and play some matches and have a good time, but it's not something that I'm going to actively go out of my way to continue to play. I didn't find like any one character. I tried playing a bunch of different characters and I didn't find any one that I particularly liked their play style. Because every one of the characters that you can play have their own set of special moves, and using each one of those moves in the proper way is how you like strategize within the game. I found some characters that I absolutely did not like. Like I really didn't like playing Groot. I tried him. Some of the support characters, I don't remember their names. I tried and I didn't really care for. But like I liked Iron Man. I liked Squirrel Girl. I liked playing as I think Black Widow was one of the ones that I kind of enjoyed playing. Overall, I think this is a It's fine. It's going right into the fine tier as well. This is just not my style of game, is what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that there's a lot of like passion put into this, and people seem to really like it, but yeah, it's not my type of game.
You're not the target audience.
Yeah. I don't really play games with people all that often. So much more of a solo gamer.
Yeah, I get that. I'm the same.
Yeah. All right, last one. Not the last one that we're going to talk about altogether, but last small game that I want to talk about really quick is a game called Power Gem Fetcher. I found this on Steam for 99 cents. And it is a little indie 2D pixel platformer. And it's not very good, but I also don't think it's finished. They didn't release it in early access, but the Steam page does say that the game is unfinished.
Okay.
I had a problem with this game. So the way the game is laid out is that it's on like this big overworld, kind of like Super Mario World style, where there's, dots on the map that indicate the levels that you go into. So you go to the level and then enter the level, you play through the level, and it's pretty basic 2D platformer stuff, except you have a sword and you can attack enemies. When you leave the level, no matter what level you were just playing, it puts you back at around level 1. So like if you just finished level 6, it'll put you back at level 1. And then you have to walk the entire map again to get back past level 6 to get to level 7. I think that's just a product of this being a solo dev project and it being incomplete.
Yeah.
Because as far as I can tell, this is a solo dev project. And I was not able to finish even what this game has to offer, because the 9th level, you're jumping across a bunch of platforms over endless pits that will kill you. But there's these enemies that are like dragons, and they fly very fast and they hit you very fast. And when they hit you, you have a lot of knockback. So you have to try and attack and kill these dragons with no way to block and stop them from hitting you, while also trying to platform across an auto-scrolling level across small platforms, while also trying to not get knocked back off of those small platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I tried this level for like a solid half hour and could not beat it.
Oh no.
And then I gave up.
Yeah. I've checked some screenshots. It really looks like my first game maker game following a platformer tutorial.
Yeah. I can appreciate it for what it is, but it needs some work to make it like if there's I don't mind knockback in a game. Like if there was a little bit less knockback, that'd be fine. If there was, if the enemies moved maybe just a little bit slower, if my attack range was maybe a little bit longer, and maybe my attacks caused a little bit of knockback to the enemies instead of them being able to just attack through it and then hit me while I'm trying to hit them also. Like there's optimizations that I feel like could be made here to make this a decent little, $1 platformer. But it's just not there right now.
Yeah. It takes some guts putting that out there for $1, even though it's pretty messy.
Yeah, it does. I'm the only person who has a review of this game on Steam.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I would say go check this game out. Like, it's not great, but it's also only $1, so like it's not like you're wasting your money if you go and buy it. At least not really. I mean, like, you are technically wasting money, but it's fine. Like, I see potential here, and I might come back to this if it gets some updates and try it again.
Yeah. And he told you that there was an update coming, so who knows? Maybe.
Oh, he responded? I didn't even see that.
Yeah. He said, thanks for the feedback. Also, stay tuned. There is coming a new update this year.
Yeah, I also don't think that he his first language is English. So, because I don't remember his name. Can you give me his name real quick, please?
Lucas Space Barreto Yanela.
Yeah, there you go. That's definitely not an English name.
No, that doesn't sound English at all.
But like, I gave him a positive review, and I was like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but like, I didn't want to be harsh about this game.
No. You put your head in the right space for those kinds of games. Like you see the passion, you see the effort that was made. So it's
Then there's aim screenshots. It looks good.
At it. Yeah, exactly. You get exactly what you paid for.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this also, and this is fine. Like this game's not trash, despite the fact that like I struggled with it. I'm just bad at platformers. Like that's really, I think, what that comes down to. Like I'm not good at that genre. I like playing them. I'm just not good at them.
Yeah. All right. On my side, I also have a little small game that I can talk about for now, and it's called Weekend at Mario's. It's a 5-minute game that I stumbled upon while scrolling Reddit. So basically, it's really like a new ground splash game. Someone created 1-1 from Mario, but it's like Weekend at Barney's, where Mario is dead and you just fling his corpse around 1-1 until you reach the end, and that's it. I think there's kind of a twist idea, and I don't remember, like, you get arrested. I think there's a little cutscene and you get arrested for throwing corpses around, like some dumb shit like that. And yeah, again, it's just 5 minutes long. You can die by like throwing Mario in pits, and you have to restart from the beginning. But other than that, it's a bit too floaty. So you fling Mario around, and then there's a really long cooldown before you can fling it again. And the way Mario you just watch him slowly go through the level, and then you have to wait 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds before you can fling it another time through 1-1. I think this game could have some kind of potential if the controls were a little bit more snappy.
But I have a question real quick. Are you controlling a character and like having to chase after Mario, or are you just picking him up with your mouse cursor and throwing him?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a sandbag kind of situation. You just you move either on the phone or with your mouse, and so there's no there's no third character situation. It's just dead Mario and 1-1 without any enemies or anything. There's no interactability. You can break the boxes. You just throw Mario around and that's it. And without any surprise, I'm gonna put this game in almost trash. Like, yeah, it's fine for what it is, but it's just a 5-minute game, and even then the controls aren't really good. So it's a fun thing, but it's not worth more than almost trash.
Oh, well, I have a game that I was going to describe as something that you might find on Newgrounds, and that was Brotato.
Oh, yeah.
Brotato looks like something that you would have found on Newgrounds. It doesn't play like something you would have found on Newgrounds. At least not in my opinion. It's got that like flash animation style to it. Kind of reminds me of like Alien Hominid.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a style.
Yeah. And so Brotato is a roguelite. What do people call them? Vampire survivors, like.
Yeah.
There are people bullet heaven, auto shooter. Basically, you're moving your character around on the map, and your weapons are automatically firing on cooldowns that are set by the weapon that you currently have equipped. I don't really care for roguelikes, but I wanted to play one. I've been wanting to play some more that people speak very highly of, to see if like one of them can penetrate me and make me actually see why people like the genre. And Brotato was not that game.
No.
I found this one very frustrating even after kind of getting an like with roguelikes, there's always a learning period where you're not really going to be fully understanding and grasping what's going on within the game. But then once you get past that initial learning period, it should start getting easier. And I did not feel like Brotato started to get easier for me. And that mostly has to do with the RNG within the game. Now, I don't mind some randomness, but what I found really frustrating about this game was like, I would have a build in mind. We'll use an example that I used in Discord, just as an example. So one of the weapons that you can get is a stick, and the stick weapon says that for each other stick that you have equipped, each of those sticks gets plus X amount to their damage. Okay, that's fine. So that means that if that's the weapon that I'm choosing, I want to build around picking up sticks. Well, then I go to the at the end of each level, you go into the shop, and it gives you 4 items or weapons that you can purchase. Well, none of them are sticks. So then I hit the refresh button, and none of them are still sticks. So now I have to spend 10 coins instead of 6 to refresh again, and none of them are still sticks. Now I have to spend 16 coins instead of 10 to refresh again, and none of them are sticks. So I've just wasted all of this money that I could have just put into a completely different weapon for my playstyle that I chose to play for this run for nothing. I've wasted it. Yeah. And the same thing would happen with basically it felt like regardless of what playstyle I was trying to build for, I was never finding the things that I needed to be able to make that playstyle actually work. So like one of the characters that you can choose from, his thing says that the more max HP that you have, you get a bonus to the amount of damage that any of your weapons do. Also, when you finish the level, not only do you have the normal shop, but every time you level up, you get a choice of stat boosts. Well, when I was playing that character, every time I would go to that stat boost screen, the HP up was never there. So I would refresh and it still wouldn't be there. But then like I would have one of those things would be like, you know, one of the higher tiered upgrades, like plus 10 to damage or something, which a normal upgrade for damage would be like plus 2 to damage. Mm-hmm. But it's like, well, then why wouldn't I just take the plus 10 to damage? Because that's the rare one. It doesn't go into my build, but if I refresh again and I get all just plus 2 to damage, plus 2 to dodge, plus 2 to whatever other stats, well, then I've just given up this good buff because I was trying to get a buff that actually helps my character's build.
Yeah.
And so it's that I was finding very frustrating with this game. I did eventually beat it, and I felt like I got lucky that time that I beat it. Not because I did well, because I was able to do well enough to get into the later levels, because you have to go through 20 levels to get through the game. And I could get into those later levels pretty consistently regardless of my build, but if my build wasn't good enough, when I got to those later levels, there's just too many enemies spawning, and I don't have the DPS to be able to do the damage to be able to take care of them, and there would just be too many on the screen for me to be able to move past them, regardless of how well I was able to maneuver. So it didn't feel like my skill was ever an issue. It felt like the randomness was always the issue.
Mm-hmm. And those runs kind of get a bit repetitive and long too. There's not much to do except just dodging stuff. There's no like side mission, side quest or anything. You're just in that small arena, running around, doing the same patterns, trying to get a good build.
Yep.
I wasn't a big fan of Brotato either. I tried it like at the end of 2023, I think, and I thought it was okay. I didn't finish it. I didn't feel compelled to continue it. But last year I tried Vampire Survivors, and that shit is so good. I got really hooked on it. It's better. I felt like I could always make a build work, even if I didn't get exactly the weapons that I wanted. There's always a way that can get you to the end if you're smart enough. There's a lot of combos and everything. Plus, there's a lot of side missions. You're not just on the small map. There's often stuff that you can go at the top right, go get some X weapon, and then you can go at the bottom left. And so you're always like moving and trying to get to stuff at the same time as leveling up and everything. So even though the runs also take like 30 minutes each time, they don't really feel that long because you're always doing something. You're always hunting for some chests, some side quests and stuff. And there's a lot of secrets too. So yeah, I think it's way more fun. I don't know if it would be your thing, but I really liked it.
It's definitely one that's on a list that I want to try out. So I might try and get to it this year.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited to hear your thoughts about it.
But as for Brotato, I'm gonna put it again in this is fine. It's been a very fine couple of weeks of gaming for me.
You can be angry. You can put it in the trash if it frustrates you.
No, I don't think it's actually trash. I don't even think it's... No, I do think it's fine. It's at like the bottom of that tier. It is frustrating, but I can see what they're going for, so I don't think it's not as bad as some other things that we would put in like almost trash.
All right. Well, I have something that vaguely resembles Brotato. It's called Hamelin's Journey. And if I had to describe the game, it's an indie game from itch.io once again. And if I had to describe it, I would say that it's like if Dark Souls and Vampire Survivors had an N64 baby.
Okay.
It's very specific. So why is it like Dark Souls? And I will talk a bit about Dark Souls later on, but yeah. I've started playing Dark Souls, and this game is very Dark Souls coded. You start in some kind of cave near some ruins, and you have to go deep into the caves, and every time that you get to a new section, there's a big title with the name of the section of Forbidden Land, with that iconic with the title popping up. And you play as a knight, and every now and then there is a bonfire that will restore your health, and you can from bonfire to bonfire. So it's really Dark Souls coded. But gameplay is more like Vampire Survivors. So you just run around and you have to collect the spirits of little creatures, Pokemon style, and they will fire automatically at the other creatures in the levels, and your goal is to reach the deepest part of the cave and beat that last big creatures. But at the same time, that's only the first part of the game. The game has two endings. So there's the main ending where you just go at the bottom of the cave, you kill that last boss, which is kind of difficult because every now and then there's a wave of enemies popping up and you don't have the room to move around. So you get wailed on and you just die. But after that, you have to try and find all the different spirits that are hidden in the game. So every spirit has like shiny version that can spawn randomly. So you have to like farm them until you get lucky and can capture them. And there's also a couple of secret hidden spirits, like hidden in the walls, and the special secret boss that's pretty intense too. And it's about a 3-hour experience if you go for the 100%. So it's not a long game, but the game is very, very fun. The one thing I would say is that the mechanics aren't deep enough. So There's no dash, there's no roll. All you can do is move around, avoid the bullets, and let your characters shoot bullets at the enemies. And all of that is done automatically. So it's really just a game of moving around and avoiding bullets. And that's fine for like a prototype like this for a 2-3 hour experience. But there's really something there. The loop of fighting spirits, grinding experience to level them up, and when they level up, you get a better build. Some spirits will help you move faster, other will make you attack faster, and so you can build some kind of synergies, and that thing is very cool. But since all the enemies kind of attack the same with the same rhythm of bullets, and your characters all have the same patterns of just shooting straight, there's not a lot of strategies. You just move around and pray for the best. So I really liked it. I would put the game in great games. I think the game was really great and I had a really fun time with it. But there's so much potential. This could be a really great game if it was expanded with more mechanics. There's really something there. It's a really good combo, and the N64 vibe is perfect. It looks totally like a Nintendo 64 game, and the music, the ambience, it's all like Adultling from Ocarina of Time. It's really like creepy, moody music. It's so good. It's a really nice find. I'm really happy I found this game. And since I started playing Dark Souls, that was like even more cool because I could understand all the references the dev was going for by making this game.
Cool. That sounds really good. I might have to check that out.
Yeah. Really recommended. It's a fun vibe. It's really a vibe game, and it's nothing too frustrating. Everything's kind of creepy and weird. I really liked it.
Perfect. All right. Next game that I want to talk about is a little indie game called Florence that I'm sure a lot of people have heard of before. So this is just a very small narrative-driven, not even really much of a game. It's really about the story of this character and like her getting into this relationship and then that relationship kind of falling apart, and it's all expressed through like these little vignettes and gameplay moments that like there's no actual dialogue. Like one of the things, like you'll be having a conversation with her significant other, and the like the text boxes pop up and they're puzzle pieces, and so like when you're having a normal conversation, the puzzle pieces are more like normal puzzle pieces, and then as the conversation gets more heated and more angry, the puzzle pieces get smaller and more jagged and more angular, to kind of represent their anger and frustration with one another. So it's all just little gameplay moments like that, with really, really great backing music. Like the music is the star of the show in this game, as far as I'm concerned. Like really great violin and piano music, a lot of emotion put into it. Like that's where this game shines in its strongest. I thought the narrative was cool. I think I've come to this game a little later than a lot of people have, because this game is kind of old, and I've played some other games that have done similar things where like the story is told just through visuals and music, and I think this one just didn't land for me quite as well as some others have. I don't really know what else to say about it, if I'm being honest with you.
That was your first playthrough, right?
Yeah, it was my first playthrough of it.
Okay.
Like, it's cool. Yeah. It's worth playing. It's cute.
I can't really help you. I haven't played it either.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say that like it belongs in This Is Fine as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, like I think it's interesting. I think the way that they're telling their story is interesting, and it's worthwhile to experience, and it's only 45 minutes long and a few dollars. So check it out. Florence. It's interesting.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. It looks interesting, and for ever since it came out, that's like the vibe that's going around it. So
yeah.
And I think This Is Fine is going to be the title of the episode today. This is the vibe we have.
Yeah.
Mostly you. Okay. I'm going to bring something a bit different. Do you like Mario 64?
I like 75% of Mario 64.
Oh, what don't you like?
I don't like some of the later levels in that game. Like TikTok Clock is really frustrating to play. That rainbow level with all the magic carpets is also really frustrating to play.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think Mario 64, the camera is also annoying as hell. But I think Mario 64 starts off really, really strong, and I just wish some of those later levels were a little better.
Yeah, there's a lot of jank. The deeper you get, the jankier it gets.
Yeah.
Well, I have it on my phone, and I decided to just start a game on a whim. I was like bored on my couch or something. But I decided to give myself a challenge. I decided to play the game only using the digital buttons, so no controller. Just trying to beat that game using the worst possible controller ever, my touchscreen of my phone.
Nice.
And oh boy, just walking straight is a pain. Like an N64 controller has those little notches, so you can go straight and stuff. So if you go up, you stay up. So even though the camera moves and it's pretty janky, if you go up, you go up. There's not that on the phone. So every little movement, you just go. And I basically feel like playing Mario 64 as a kid using my phone playing the game. If I decided to do the 16 stars route, so just like a short playthrough through the game, because I don't want to go through 70 stars with that fucking hell of a controller. Okay. And Bomb Battlefield, I got every stars except the flying one and the 100 stars, 100 coin stars. Yeah, and that was pretty easy. There's not a lot of obstacles in that level, so that was fine. Then I did all the stars in the snow level. I don't remember the name, but the snow level. That was the race against the penguin was a nightmare.
Yeah, I can see that being a pain.
Yeah. And you cannot cheat. You cannot use any shortcuts. I think I grinded that level for like 30 minutes, and I had a save state just before the race. It was just a big pain, but I managed to beat that penguin, and the wall kick star was pretty tough too, but it's not too bad because you can try again and again. But I cannot do like backflips. I don't know if it's my thumb with the fake joystick or anything. I can do side flips, but I can't do the motion to go down and up. I think it's not precise. It's like too precise, so it doesn't feel like up and down. So yeah, so that was a bit problematic. And then I did a couple stars in the other main level, the 1-star level with the Womp at the top.
Womp's Fortress.
Yeah, Womp's Fortress. That was also pretty fine. Then I got to the basement. I managed to do the MIPS glitch to go around the door. Go to the submarine. That was also pretty easy. The Bowser levels, you just go like front and back, so it's not too hard. And then I tried to do some backwards long jumps with the touchscreen, and that didn't work. And it's just impossible. I cannot. because you have to hold the Z button, but I'm like that, trying to mash and also trying to hold the joystick with my other hand. I use a controller for the long jumps, so I get through the doors, and now I'm at the final Bowser level. I have not managed to reach Bowser yet. That level's, you have to walk pretty straight. It's getting kind of narrow, and I don't have that kind of precision with the phone, so it's a really stupid challenge. I'm having fun. I wouldn't recommend it. I say that Mario 64 is for me great game. Maybe even absolute banger. It's like great, big nostalgic dumb game. But that challenge, it goes in almost trash. It's a really terrible to play Mario 64, but I will do it. I will beat Bowser with that controller, and I'm gonna be proud.
Is it going to be difficult? Did you do any of the Bowser fights? Because I feel like spinning Bowser with just that shitty touchscreen is going to be a pain.
It's not too bad.
Oh, okay.
It's not too bad, but I always had a lot of trouble with precisions, and so even with the joysticks, I'm really bad at those Bowser fights. But like the first two Bowser fights, you can just throw Bowser's like little chunk by little chunk, and he will hit the bomb. But for that last throw, you have to go all in and just do a big throw. So I'm not sure how this will go. I don't think I've beaten like that last Bowser many times in my life, maybe once or twice. So it's gonna be something. Yeah, I will update you once I've beaten it.
Yeah, please do. I will say, like, I would put Mario 64, just playing it on the Nintendo 64, into great games. Like, I know I said 75% of it I like, but like, it's still fun to play.
Oh yeah, it has a great vibe. The controls and the camera isn't the best, but it's just fun. You just go around and do stuff, and that's why I play a lot of indie games too. I miss just simple games. Like, you didn't have like a huge open world and stuff. You just go around and catch stars. That's
right.
It just being able to move around in 3D space and doing some front flips and side flips, and that's all I need. I don't need a big motivation and stuff. Just being able to relax and do stuff. That's fun.
Yeah. Well, cool. I hope to hear more about that at a later point in time. All right. Let's stay on the Mario train then. I'm going to talk about new Super Mario Bros. U on the Wii U.
Let me guess. Is it fine?
It is also fine.
Oh, no. Spoilers. All right.
Yeah. I am really bad at 2D Mario games. Like, I've never beaten any of the ones that were on Nintendo or Super Mario on Super Nintendo. I think I've played. I didn't grow up with Nintendo. Like, I had a Sega, so I didn't play these games until I was like already a teenager, and so I don't have that ingrained knowledge of how to play a Mario game. So I really struggled to get through New Super Mario Bros. U, even though like it's considered to be a pretty easy game by a lot of people. I did not find it all that easy to play. The first, 3, 4, 5 worlds were not that challenging at all. Once I started to get past that, like, I mean, there were levels I died 10, 15, 20 times on before being able to get through them. It started to feel like I was playing Crash Bandicoot again. Like, yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to say about New Super Mario Bros. U? Like, it's Mario. Like, it's Super Mario World, but like with 3D character models, and you play through Mario levels, you jump on stuff. Like, everyone knows what Mario is. So
exactly. That one is like, that one is kind of weird. Like, it's like the fourth one in a row with the same art style and the same move set and everything. So if you just like go in there playing a Mario game, yeah, it's fine. For me, that one was kind of painful of going through. Like, it's all the same worlds. They have a little bit of flair, but it's so similar to the one on the Wii and the one on the DS and everything that I was really burnt out. I really did not enjoy that one much.
Okay.
Yeah. And for me, it was really, really easy. Like, it was just like a walk in the park. But so I think I told you that new Super Luigi U, that's kind of the DLC pack that they released for this game, is really good, but that one is fucking hard. You play as Luigi, and Luigi is a lot more slippery and you jump higher, so you have to be way more precise. And the levels are more challenging, but they're shorter, which is something that I like in platformers. I think that the levels get a little bit long and repetitive in New Super Mario Bros. U, but with the Luigi levels, you have only 100 Mario seconds, so levels are short. You have to go fast, but all this at the same time, your character is super imprecise, and you have to deal with that. And yeah,
I already felt like Mario was too floaty, so I don't know if I want to play with a floatier version of the guy.
Yeah, I think you wouldn't like it. But for me, that's a really good Mario game.
I might try it at some point because the disc that I have for Wii U has it on it. But I went ahead and just marked the entire game as beat on my backloggery. One of my kind of unspoken goals for the year is a goal that I tried to do last year that I did not complete, which is to beat every game for a console that I own that's not like the Neo Geo Pocket Color where I only own one game for it.
Yeah.
And I'm getting really close to beating all of my Wii U games right now. I only have 2 Wii U games left. And one of them is Bayonetta 2, which is a game that I really want to play. It's basically Devil May Cry with Bayonetta. The other game that I have is oh god, what's the name of it? It's an RPG. It's Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE.
Okay, yeah.
Which is like an 80-hour long JRPG.
Yeah.
And I already don't love JRPGs. Oftentimes because they're too long, and that's supposed to be a really long one. So
why do you have it?
Because I didn't know that it was an 80-hour long JRPG when I bought it from a GameStop that was closing.
Okay, yeah. And technically, Luigi U, it was released as a separate disc, so technically you could say that you have that one to beat too, if you want to complete your challenge.
Yeah, well, it's on the same disc as Mario U for me, so I don't own it separately, so I'm going to continue to call that one beaten for now.
All right. Or you bring your Wii U and your Luigi U at the Polycon, and I can help you get through it.
Okay. I'll make sure to pack my Wii U into my one backpack that I'm going to bring.
Good space. Good use of space.
It's more important than socks.
Yeah, for sure. We need socks. In the middle of summer, just pack your sandals.
All right. That's it for Mario. What do you got to talk about, man?
So, my next game that I have to say again because we have some recording troubles, but that's fine. Our next game is called El Papel. It's a Flash game from like 2010. And why did I play El Papel? It's because that on the Polykill Bingo challenge for 2025 that both Scotch and I are doing, there's a square where the challenge is to beat a game that fits the discussion of the latest Polykill before the new episode of Polykill. And the latest discussion was the best bathrooms in gaming. And El Papel has a fitting story. So, the story of El Papel is that you play as El Papel the Luchador, and he's taking a big dump, but when he goes to clean his butt, there's no paper left in the stall. And instead of just leaving the stall and dealing with that later or whatever, the only solution he finds is to use a special power, and he extends his thick, long neck, and now his head and his neck become like a big snake, and he can go through mazes to reach the end of the game where he would find some toilet paper. Because there's a big story where the evil luchador was the one who removed the toilet paper so that El Papel would... I'm saying El Papel. His name is El Macho. El Papel is the toilet paper. So that El Macho wouldn't be able to reach the match because he would be stuck in the toilet, so he wouldn't become champion. It's really involved for a Flash game, and the game is just like a pretty simple puzzle game. It's a grid-based, and you play as the head and the neck of El Papel, and it's kind of a snake situation where you extend his neck to go on the squares to reach the end of the level, and you cannot go back on squares where your head has already moved in. And in each level, you have to eat all the tacos in the level. You have to find some stars if you want to go for 100%. And there are some puzzles where you need to grab some sticks to be able to break the corresponding piñatas to reach the end. Otherwise, you could just move through the end of the levels. And there's 42 levels, and it's just some basic puzzle games. You just go around with the neck, grab some stuff, and reach the end. But why I like this game is because this game is super funny. It's super dumb. Like, the puzzle game aspect is fine. It's a fine puzzle game, but everything around it is great. The music gets a bit repetitive, but it's a catchy Mexican tune. And I would say that the game is kind of racist. But also the game was made in Argentina, so whatever. I think it's on the line of being just a funny representation of Mexican culture. So all the characters speak in Spanish throughout the game. When you move El Macho around the levels, he just screams stuff in Spanish every time you try to move. If you try to move on somewhere, but there's a wall, he will just scream stuff like "Imposible! Ay, ay, ay! Oh no, la piada!" And it's super random. There's a couple cutscenes also in the game. The first cutscenes, he finds someone and he's like, "Oh, I really need some paper. Can you give me some toilet paper? I'm going to be late to the match." And the guy's like, "Oh, I could, but I was going for my siesta, so I don't know." So he just cannot use some help. In the second cutscene, he finds the spirit of his dead dog from when he was a child, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna abandon this thing. I'm gonna stay in the stall. I will miss the match. I cannot go. It's too long. It's too hard." And the spirit of his dog is like, "Oh no, you'll be able to do it, El Macho. Please do it for me. Please honor my spirit." What the fuck? I was laughing way too hard playing this game. It's just random shit after random shit. But the one kind of sad thing is that it ends on a cliffhanger. When you reach the last level, you get to the last cutscene, and there's like an ambush by the evil bad luchador, and it ends with "to be continued," and we never got the El Papel 2.
Oh no.
No, I was hyped because there's also a square on the bingo to play a game and its sequel one after the other, and was like, yeah, that's perfect. I'm gonna play El Papel too, but it doesn't exist. And I've checked, and I think the studio still exists today. There's still like the face of El Papel on their website and everything. So I don't know, if I harass them, maybe they'll make a sequel, or I could buy the IP and make my own sequel. I don't know.
Are you gonna make your own sequel before you play another video game, though?
Yeah, that's already too late. But yeah, with all that said, this game is fucking funny. This game is fun. I think I would still put it in. This is fine. I think the game is not deep enough to reach the great games, but I have really fond memories of this game. I think it's funny. I think it's fun. In my heart, it's a great game, but objectively, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It sounds fine.
Yeah, it is. It is.
What else is fine is Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yep.
Yeah. This is. I described this game as what did I say? It was a baby game for stupid babies. in my initial review of this game, and I stand by that initial review. Kirby's Epic Yarn is maybe the easiest platformer you'll ever play. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's a death state in this game.
No, I don't think so.
Because like when you fall down pits, you just get put back where you came from.
Yeah, I think you lose some gems or something.
Yeah, you lose some gems, but like they don't matter as far as I can tell.
Exactly. There are plenty in the levels.
Yeah. So yeah, you play as Kirby. Everything is made out of yarn and fabric, and like the aesthetic of all these levels is really, really cool. I like that. And so like there'll be small little puzzles within a level, if you can call them puzzles, but like you'll find a thing where like you can pull on something and it will like bunch the fabric together to reveal an opening that you can then go through to access a different special part of the level. All of that is really cool. It's just really easy and at the end of the day a little boring, if I'm being honest with you, just because like there's no challenge to it at all. But it's also like 5 hours long.
Yeah. I played it when I was in high school with a friend because there's co-op in the game, and we couldn't get through it. Like after an hour or two, we were so freaking bored. Like you just walk right and then the level ends. This game is way, way too easy. And it's a game for babies. Like I would play that with my daughter, and I think it would be fun to see her have fun, but for adults, there's really nothing there. It looks good, and that's all.
Yeah, but I'm a 34-year-old man who played this by himself in his basement.
Exactly.
Yeah, so a little bit of backstory. The only reason I have this is I found it at a flea market for like $5, complete in box. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's worth it. Like, I'm sure this game is fine for $5. And yeah, I guess it was fine for that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have kids. I don't intend to have kids, so it'll probably never get played again. It'll probably just live on my Wii collection and sit there and gather dust. Yeah, it's a really, really simple game. I don't have anything else to say about Kirby's Epic Yarn. I guess the final boss was actually kind of cool. So so the whole conceit of the game is like Kirby gets sucked into this fabric world because of this entity, we'll call him. A lot of the Kirby games deal with like existential dread in some ways, which is always kind of weird. Yeah, like the final boss is always like some Cthulhu monster, like something out of Lovecraft. And yeah. So the final boss is strange in that like he sucked you into this fabric world. But other than that, like I don't know. It was a Kirby game. I was playing it in between levels of Mario Bros. U. When I would get stuck in Mario and get mad and frustrated at that game, I would switch over to Kirby because it was easy and I could get through levels.
The perfect palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it goes right into this is fine. Like I don't think the game's trash. In it, I mean, like I could see an argument for somebody putting it in like almost trash, but like
put it there.
Yeah,
yeah, especially like I'm like platformers are like the genre I like the most. I don't. It's not what I bring the most on the show, but it's up there. It's this thing I like the most in playing video games, and this one it really did nothing for me. It's so boring. I think it's a great game for babies, but for everyone else, it's almost trash. There's barely any fun to have.
All right, you've convinced me. It's almost trash. Put it in almost trash.
Let's go. Some negativity, yes.
Yeah. Probably don't play Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah. No, play Kirby Superstar. That one.
Yeah.
That one is fun.
Yeah. That Kirby mini golf game is really fun too.
Yeah. Kirby what is it?
I don't remember what it's called.
It's Kirby's Dream Course. That one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one's kind of brutal. Like, it's a challenging game.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a bit too challenging just going like for the story mode, but playing against a friend, it's so chaotic. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's really great. Well, speaking of games for babies, my last game is Dark Souls.
All right. I'm ready.
Yeah. Yes. So last year I started Dark Souls because, again, the Polykill Bingo had a square to play a Souls game. And I didn't have the time because I wanted to do all the 75 squares. So I didn't have the time to invest all that time in playing Dark Souls. So I beat White Lavender, that I think I didn't talk on the show. But it's like baby's version of Dark Souls. I still died a lot. I died like 50 times because I was being impatient and just like not taking it too seriously. But it's a really good introduction to Dark Souls. It's all the same base mechanics, dodge rolling, the fire. Oh, I'm missing the word. The fire.
The bonfire.
The bonfires and all that. It's all the same mechanics, but with bugs and scaled down to like a 3-hour game. It's really fun. It's a fun Souls-like, but it's not a mechanical and difficult experience that the Souls games are known for. So my first gaming resolution of the year is getting through Dark Souls, because I've heard so many good things from our friends, from our friends on Kindle Across the Sea, and I was sure that I was gonna hate the game. Like, I was listening to their podcast and everything felt irritating, like the boss runs, having to fight the same enemies over and over again, losing your souls, having to learn so many mechanics and different enemies, and it really felt like something I would hate. And I was like, I'm gonna give it a chance, and if I hate it, I hate it. At least I will know. But I have to say that I am 100% hooked. This game is consuming me. I don't play a lot. Like, I bring a lot of games, but often there are games that you can beat in an hour or two. I have over 30 hours in Dark Souls in the last 2 weeks. And that's at the same time of video editing, like my biggest video ever. So if I didn't have any other projects, I would only be playing Dark Souls like night and day. I freaking loved everything about the game. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. The first one is that I had like a heads up with the game. By playing the White Lavender game, I grasped a couple of different mechanics that made the transition for first Souls games a bit easier, like dodge rolling, spacing with your enemies, and all like subtle things, like being able to run past enemies to go back to the boss that you're trying to do, that you don't have to fight everything. It's those are all little things that I learned by playing an easier Souls-like before playing this one, and that transitions really well in like the play styles of the early levels. Another thing is, having listened to the Kindled Across the Sea podcast, I had some cues on, you can kick characters. So I learned straight at the beginning how to kick, and those first undead are pretty easy once you can just kick their shield and stab them. They're staggered, so you don't have to deal with their attacks most of the time. And I think all those little things made my early games fairly easy. I didn't have a lot of trouble getting into Undeadburg, and I got pretty lucky. The first boss in Undeadburg is the Taurus demon, usually. And when I reached the bridge, the Taurus demon saw me, and he couldn't take it. I was way too intimidating, and he jumped to his death. Like, he just did a back jump and jumped out the bridge. I didn't have to
speedrun strat.
Yeah, big speedrun strat. So I was like, okay, what just happened? For a second, I thought this was a scripted event, but then I looked it up, and I just managed to skip the fight. So that was pretty fun. And after that,
it is kind of unfortunate, though. Yeah, the Taurus demon is a good fight.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
Yeah, it is kind of unfortunate. I would like to see. I wonder if you made a new character, it wouldn't take very long to get back to the Taurus demon. I imagine so.
Yeah,
I wonder how you would actually feel about that fight if you actually fought him.
Yeah, I should get back to there. Try it out. But
maybe do it after you finish the game.
Yeah. But I won't go through my whole experience, but after that, I hit a couple of walls. Trying to reach the cathedral was pretty painful. I had a lot of troubles dealing with the undead fighters there. Like, just, I don't know. When I reach the section with the fire and the archers and everything, I didn't feel really confident, and that was pretty tough. It took me like 2-3 hours. I think I should have gotten through that way easier, but I don't know. That was my first big block that was there, and I think people usually get like that kind of challenge before that, so I just pushed back the challenge until that part of the game. And then I didn't do the gargoyle boss at that time. I went like farming into the garden because I was just exploring. I didn't know where to go. So I went to the garden for like 3 hours, and I was stuck trying to get to the butterfly boss. And I realized that I wasn't leveling my weapon. I wasn't dealing with all those size mechanics that make the game way easier.
Yeah.
But once I got through that section, I got an halberd, which is still my weapon right now. I have a raw halberd +5. I think I'm not playing the game like you're supposed to, but I'm just full damage. I'm just poking, rolling back, poking and rolling back. I'm all offense, no defense. And ever since I got through the garden, I managed to continue my game fairly easily. Like, there's always a challenge, but the only time I felt frustrated was with the archers in Anor Londo. Like,
they're insane.
Yeah, and it's not just the archers, it's you have to run for so long on an empty bridge, avoiding a couple enemies, and then the kind of gargoyles, if you don't pay attention, they can gank you up, and now you have to run back on that bridge again. And once you reach the archers, you have like 5 seconds to try to figure out what to do, and then you're dead. So that was the point where I was not having fun. Like, I lost an hour or two just repeating that cycle. And after that hour or two, I realized that I could actually go back to Firelink Shrine and the cathedral and everything, because I thought I was stuck in an Orlando, but I looked it up and like, okay, I just have to talk to the gargoyles and I can go back. So I went back, I bought some sorceries, I upgraded some stuff, I bought fire bombs. So I stock up on things that I thought I needed, and I managed to find a strategy where I use the oral decoy spell. So one of the archers to do his death, and I could reach the other bonfire. And that's where I'm at right now. I reached the next boss, which is a pair of bosses. And I think I should be able to get through it, but with Solaire. I'm really using Solaire for this one. He aggroes the two bosses. I kill one, and then... Yeah. So, but I'm losing all my humanities, so that kind of sucks. And at the same time, there's a lot of invaders in that section. So I've lost like 3 different humanity just because invaders would pop up and fuck up my run. And I think
that's always been... Well, that's one of my frustrations with Dark Souls is the fact that you have to be human to be able to summon, but then you can also be invaded when you're human, and it's like, well, I don't necessarily want to be invaded. Like, I know that's part of the game, but like, I'm not here for the PvP. So, like,
especially since not if you're a new game plus or something, like maybe you've grasped the game, you've already experienced all those sections and everything. But I'm just learning the game. I'm learning all the sections. I don't want to deal with other people. I just want to reach those fucking bosses.
I wonder if it would be worthwhile to take your game offline, at least for right now, while you're in Orlando. That way you don't have to deal with the invaders, but you can still use the humanity to be able to summon Solaire.
Yeah, maybe that's something I will... Maybe that's what I will do next time I play. Just to try to get through there. But...
Okay.
Yeah, surprisingly, I'm having the time of my life. I wasn't hooked on a game like that since maybe The Last of Us last year. So it's been a good year since I've had like a game that fully grasped me. That I love the level design, not so much in Anne Orlando, but all Firelink Shrine, Undeadburg, all those sections, all the loop back, and every time I would look back to Firelink, I was like, oh my god, that shortcut was there all that time, and I didn't know it. I'm making a couple of games sometimes, so I kind of have an eye for level design and stuff like that, so that's something that I can really appreciate. And all the things that I thought I would hate, like bus runs and everything, I found that they don't really matter. Like, I don't know how it's set up in the other games, but in this one, I feel like every time you get to a boss, you should have unlocked most of the shortcuts that you can avoid, like all the NPCs, and just run to the bosses in like 20 seconds. And
yeah, usually.
So I really like how the game is designed, and if you take the time to beat all those characters between you and the boss, well, you learn more about the game and you get better. So I think it's really well set up. And yeah, I've started watching a bit of YouTube videos about Dark Souls and everything. I'm fully in Dark Souls mode since the beginning of the year.
I think some people get annoyed with the boss runs just because, like, there are some places where the like enemy placements are kind of frustrating, and some of the enemies are kind of tough to just be able to run past, and that can make it annoying to get back to the boss. So, that could be kind of a pain. Or like, if you didn't know that there was the shortcut, then you have a minute and 30-second run back to the boss. That can also be really annoying too.
Yeah,
so
exactly. But at the same time, if you're doing a minute and 30 to run to the boss, maybe that should like ring a bell that you're missing a shortcut, because all the other times I had to run to a boss, I didn't have to run that much. So I feel like the game is formulaic enough that you should know that something is wrong.
Yeah. I will say Demon Souls is much worse about the boss runs. Like there's several of the levels in Demon Souls where there's not a shortcut at all. And you just have to redo the entire level to be able to get back to the boss. But by the time you're doing the boss runs, you know where all the enemies are. A lot of times you can avoid most of them anyway. You can avoid all the side paths. You don't have to go down every path. You've already picked up all the items. So even in that game, the boss runs are not that bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I'm fully gonna explore all the other Souls games after this one. I'm having a lot of fun, and
sweet.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested to see what all the fuss is about on the other ones too, because this one is doing its thing.
Dark Souls and The Last of Us, sometimes AAA gaming is actually worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
There
are great games still being made, and it's not a surprise. There's like mechanically dense games made with a vision, without microtransactions, built for like single player in mind. So it's all stuff that I like. I like a good challenge. I like playing with my hands. That's why I play video games, is to do stuff and have some gameplay, and it's hitting all the right notes. And if it wasn't clear, Dark Souls go right into the absolute bangers.
Absolutely deserves it.
Yeah, I'm really happy I gave it a shot.
I'm glad you're having a good time with it. I have one more game to talk about, and it's also a pretty AAA game, but it's an older AAA game. Well, I guess it's around the same time as Dark Souls, considering they were both released in the PS3 generation. Spec Ops: The Line is a first-person shooter that takes place in, I think, a fictional war. I'm pretty sure it's fictional. Actually, no, I'm 100% sure it's fictional, because there's like this storm that has taken over Dubai, and you are inside like this giant dust cloud storm, and Dubai has basically been ravaged by this storm. So that's not happened in our lifetime. Dubai don't do it. But yeah, so you play as this squad of three guys, and you're sent in to like investigate something that's going on in there. And basically chaos ensues, and it turns into an absolute war zone. You're fighting against a bunch of people, and you end up fighting against a lot of American soldiers that you think have like essentially gone rogue and are like not following their orders. And that's kind of the thrusting, the plot is that you've been sent in and you're isolated. So everything that's happening, nothing leaves Dubai because of this dust storm that's surrounding the city. So you can't get radio transmissions out. You can't get any contact with like any of your higher ups in command or anything like that. So you're on your own, and your main character, I don't remember his name, is a little crazy and starts to go a little bit more crazy as the game goes on. I would like to ask, before I continue, have you played this, or have you seen there's a few people who have done like what are they called? Like video essays on YouTube about this game specifically. Like I think Jacob Geller did one. Maybe H Bomber guy.
No, I don't actually know anything about this game.
Okay.
I just know the name. I know the name, and I think the name is good. I don't remember, but there's something that sounds like that in my food. There's a food that I eat that has a name that sounds like Spec Ops, and I often tell to myself in my head like Spec Ops the line when I see it. I don't remember what, but I think it's a notes company.
That's an odd connection to make there, but
sorry, that was a weird ramble.
But all right, so this game is kind of notorious because it subverts the normal first person shooter like war genre type thing, because it doesn't like glamorize the acts of war, and it doesn't like glorify your actions. Like your squad mates at some point start to be like, why are we still doing this? Like, why are we fighting against our own soldiers? There's a point where like spoilers, I guess. We don't fucking usually care about spoilers, but there's a point where like you drop white phosphorus on a whole bunch of enemy soldiers that are like trying to attack your position, and you end up burning a bunch of civilians in that as well. And the two guys in your squad are like, what the fuck was even the point of this?
Yeah.
You know, we're supposed to be here helping these people, and we just killed a bunch of them. And dude, your character is like, they were in the way. That's not our fault. We have to get the job done. Mm-hmm. So you're not supposed to sympathize or empathize with this guy at all. He's going a little mad. And you find out like towards the end, like just how mad he's actually been going this entire time. So it was really, really cool to see, you know, a war story that doesn't, you know, glorify the horrendous things that people have to go through in war. And when it comes to gameplay, man, it's a fun first person shooter. All of the guns feel good. They feel weighty. Like, enemy AI is pretty good. There's some tough, challenging places. It's your pretty typical cover shooter type stuff. So you're running in between cover from here to there, and all the weapons feel significant and different from one another. You know, there's some games where like 3 different automatic rifles will all feel pretty similar to one another. All of the different types of rifles feel different from one another. Like, everything feels good. The shotgun feels great. You got to have a good shotgun in a game if you're going to be a shooter. Yeah, it's just a really, really good game.
Nice.
It has a reputation of being one of the best games of the genre, and that reputation is well deserved. This game goes right into great games.
Wow. But what's missing to make it an absolute banger?
You know what? I misspoke. It belongs in absolute banger.
Okay, that's what I was a bit surprised.
Yeah, sorry. That's my bad. It 100% belongs in absolute banger. Like, I cannot find a fault in this game. So there's one part a little bit later on where like you're fighting against this guy, like one of a heavy type enemy. So like there's these enemies, they call them heavies. They're like dressed in heavy armor. They take a lot of bullets to take down. He comes like bursting through this door, and it's one of like, not your squad mates, I don't think, but it's like somebody that your guy knows. And so if you die trying to take him down, the next time you fight against that enemy, it's just a normal heavy enemy instead of being your squad mate. There's little things like that keep happening during this game where it like plays with your sense of reality, because your character's sense of reality is not stable at all.
Wow.
It's really cool. This game does so much cool stuff.
That sounds really great. I'm not a big FPS guy, but I think the message and the experience would make it worth it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't buy this game online anymore. It got delisted from all the things. So if you want to play it, you have to buy a physical copy, which is unfortunate. The downfall of the digital age of goods.
Yeah, it's all fine and good until they don't let you get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, thankfully, so physical prices have gone down. When it first got delisted, prices skyrocketed to being like over $50 for physical copies of this game, which is insane for a game that sold as well as it did. But prices have gone back down, as they tend to do with like hype based bullshit like that, and you can get physical copies again for like $20, which is very reasonable.
Cool. We're gonna keep an eye on it.
Cool.
So that concludes our section of the tier list. That ends pretty hype. After being fine all the way through, we finished with 2 absolute bangers. But
yeah.
At the same time, there's no surprises there. Those are very, very hype, very well-known games.
Yes. Yeah, they're both very well-known games. They're well-regarded games, and they're well-regarded for very good reasons. So I don't think it's much of a surprise. But yeah, we started with a lot of very middling games.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and move into some hobby time. Max, would you like to go first on hobby time?
Yeah, I'm going to go first. So I didn't have much of actual hobby time in the past few weeks because I've been mostly playing Dark Souls, like I was saying just a couple moments ago. But I did do also a lot of video editing. So at the end of summer last year, my brother and I, we went on a spree, on a rally thing, and we tried to play every arcade places in Quebec City in a single day. So we started at like 9 in the morning and we went to like 20 different places, including movie theaters, actual arcades, hotels, bars with like one Street Fighter in the corner. All those things I tried to find on the internet, and we tried to do all of them in one day. And we recorded all of that. I did a big script, and I've been editing that for the past like 2 or 3 weeks. And man, as much as I like doing videos and doing video editing, those long videos, they kill me. Every time I'm tell myself, oh yeah, I've already filmed at those places, it's gonna be easy. I just record what I want to say, and then I put some images of where we went, and it's gonna be quick. It's not gonna be too long. But then, like, I do some video editing, and then I hit a point where I say some dumb stuff about a game called Hot Wheels King of the Road, and then I imagine a little skit where instead of Hot Wheels King of the Road, it's the intro of King of the Hill, but all the characters have Hot Wheels instead of their heads, and I do replace the title screen where it says King of the Hill with King of the Road with all the same animations and all that, and then I spend 2 hours just animating that for like 3-second bit, and I'm like, I'm so fucking dumb. Why am I spending my time on this? But at the same time, that's what makes my videos. That's what makes the videos enjoyable. That's what's fun about making videos. It's including those moments and those dumb little things. And sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I'm talking about how I've seen the Mario Kart arcade at this place, but then I realized I didn't film it. So now I spend 30 minutes scouring the internet to see if anyone else filmed that arcade at that exact same place. So I have some footage of me talking of that arcade. And all that to say that I spent way too much time on this video. It's almost 40 minutes long. So the way I do my videos, I do my first rough cut where I just cut all my good because I film my scripts all in front of the camera, so there's a lot of repeating the same sentences over and over again. So I cut all the good stuff, and then after that I do my editing pass where I do all video stuff, all the animations, the gags, and all that. And so all of that is done on my video. It's about almost 40 minutes. After that, I do my background music and my sound effects and about the same time. So I still have that to do on my video. And I dread all that section because it's always a pain because you don't want to put your background music too loud so you don't hear what you're saying. But at the same time, if you put it too low, what's the point of even adding background music? And sometimes a couple decibels make or break a section. So I hate that part, but also when the music is well done, it really adds to the video. So yeah, so all that to say, I have all that to do, and I still have a couple of sections to film. They're all like small sections, like a little bit in the intro. I have to go back to a place because we went to a video game store, and they used to have arcades. When we went there, there were arcades, but none of them were plugged in, and the guy said he would plug them in soon, so I have to go back there to see if he actually did it. And the more interesting part is that one of the first real barcade in Quebec City after like the 8 days of arcades, it opened in like 2014 here in Quebec, and it closed like 2 months after we filmed our video because of a bunch of shady stuff. The guy wasn't like he was really a really shady guy. So I have to add a section to my script to talk about that because the arcade was there. It's not there anymore. And I want to talk about this story in the video because it's really fitting.
Right.
And yeah, so I still have a bunch of work, but I feel like this is my most viral concept I ever did. So I'm putting all the work into this video because I feel I could get some good views from this one, doing like those videos where they went to every
like Olive Garden or something
Cafe,
like that.
Olive Garden, and all those videos. So I feel like I'm in a good niche with a popular style of videos, and I think I've done a good job with the editing and everything. So I'm putting all the stops on it. I'm pretty excited to get it done and see what happens. But yeah.
Who is that? That's Eddie Verbeck, right?
Yeah, Eddie Verbeck. Yeah. Exactly. So I put all my Eddie Verbeck energy in this one.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. So for me, I've been doing a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons prep. I can't talk too much about that because I think at least one of my players listens to this podcast, so I can't really talk about the specifics of what I've been preparing. So the way that... What's that?
You're DMing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So the way that we play at our table is that we rotate who is playing as the DM. That way it gives everybody a chance to be able to be a player, and anybody who wants to be able to DM can have that opportunity. So we play a game that's actually called Pathfinder, which is based on Dungeons and Dragons 3.5, which is an old version of Dungeons and Dragons from about 15 years ago that is no longer supported. And Pathfinder itself, in its first edition that we play, is also no longer officially supported by its company, Paizo. Paizo has moved on to Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We don't play that. We still play 1st Edition of Pathfinder. And that's just because we've been playing it for years. So all that to say, our gaming group is small, and we don't have like a lot of people that have a lot of interest, because most people these days play Dungeons and Dragons 5th Edition, which is, if you watch any of the YouTube content about Dungeons and Dragons, whether it's fucking Matt Mercer with his insanely popular show that I can't remember the name of.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I also don't have the name, but yeah.
I don't watch it, so I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But if you
Critical Role,
there you go. So they kind of popularized 5th Edition, as well as some other people. So basically, if you watch or listen to any Dungeons and Dragons podcasts or shows online, it's going to be 5th Edition, which is not what we play. So it can be kind of difficult to find new players that want to play with us at times, because we're playing an older version of the game. Yeah. So we rotate who is DMing. That way nobody has to just be stuck as the DM forever. And everybody gets a chance to play at the table at the same time.
Oh, that's pretty.
So I'm working on my next bit of the campaign. And as I start to run that here in like a month or so, I'll probably provide some updates about how that's going once I can actually talk about it less cryptically.
Oh, I'm pretty excited. I haven't played any pen and papers for years, but I used to play them back in college, and it's always a great time.
Yeah. What did you play?
Yeah, I played some random shit that like a guy we knew, I think it was one of our professor, that he invented like his own system. I was playing like, I only have it in French, but Foam Man, where I could like transform and stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, I was a foam man that could, but I was kind of a rogue too. So I was killing people on the back, behind their back as a foam guy. And after that, we did some D&D 3.5 with our friends.
Okay.
And I was playing, we were doing like dual classes. So I was rapier wielding dragon guy bard. It was pretty weird. But yeah,
3.5 is really good about dual classing. So
yeah,
there's a lot of that within the system.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
So 3.5 and Pathfinder, like that's 100% my system. That's what I like to play. It's
it's
very crunchy. It's very numbers heavy. There's a lot of min maxing that you can do. It's what I like. So.
Cool.
It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, for my hobby, I've applied for a job. It's a mining security company. They invented like some kind of robot that can help with security in mining pits. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because it's really, it's like working on a robot, and it's helping security. It's helping like people around the world, even if like mining isn't the best thing for the environment. We still need that because that's where the minerals for our computers and everything come from. We need those minerals. So
it would also be helpful if the mining companies would clean up their fucking messes when they were done with the pits.
Yeah, exactly. That would help. But yeah, I had a contact in the company, and I met with them this week, and I think the contact went fine. Well, it went fine because they approached me for the second interview, and that's what I'm talking about right now. So the second interview is a technical interview. I'm a developer in real life. That's what I get money from. As much as I wish I could make money from YouTube, I have to program stuff to live. And the last time I did a technical interview was for 2 jobs back, and it was like a test, a small test. You had like an hour or two to build a simple program just to see if you could figure out problems in a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. But this time I'm applying for a full stack job. So basically it means that I should be able to work both on the servers and the website if I want to stay really simple. So I should be able to do everything in the program. And like they gave me an homework where I have to build a program from scratch using their languages that they use that I've never used before. And I've just been programming for like 2 days straight, trying to do everything, encountering a bunch of little bugs that I just cannot let go. I have a program. Basically, they gave me a robot program that just spits out numbers. And for some reason, when I'm trying to run it and save that output to a new file, it locks. It just updates like every 2 minutes, and I'm supposed to show the results in live, but now I'm having to wait 2 minutes between every update, and that was driving me nuts. And I spent like 5 hours in the last 2 days just trying to fix that, and actually managed to fix it. So all that to say, I've been doing a lot of coding for a new job. I've went really hard on that challenge. I think I managed to do everything that was asked for, to like down to every details. I've done all the documentations, the testing, the application, the server, everything's there. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have the job. Like, I really went hard on that, and if that doesn't give me the job, I might quit coding forever. I went way toward the last two days for it to not give anything. So yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. So I'm not stressed. Like, even if I don't get the job, it's fine. Like, it's an experience and everything. But once again, I've just thrown myself in the unknown, and I managed to figure it all out. And every time I'm amazed at my capacity of just figuring things out. Like, I don't want to say that I'm the most brilliant guy. Like, if I want to do a parallel with Dark Souls, I don't think I'm really good at Dark Souls, but I'm really patient, and I can try again and again and again until my poking strategy finally works out. And that's how I do at my work also. Like, every time something doesn't work, I just try everything under the sun, and somehow it ends up working. So yeah, thanks for the good words, and maybe I'll be able to code for real very soon.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not exactly a hobby, considering it's a job, but
yeah, but
it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I spent so much time in the past 2 days, I had to talk a bit about it.
Well, that's fine. I mean, hell, I talked about digging a hole in my backyard last time.
Yeah. And for real, as much as it's been a pain figuring all those bugs out and everything with doing this test, I still kind of had fun. Like, yeah. That's why I'm in coding in the first place. I like coding. I like figuring stuff out. So it's been a bit brutal because I think the test is a bit too big for its own good, and like, I'm not paid right now for doing this, so that's a bit insane. But at the same time, it was a fun challenge.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Loot Box. So I've got a couple of things that I wanted to shout out today. I'm gonna start with the one that is not the first one on the list here today. It's a video by a channel called More Perfect Union. The video is called "Why Does All of Your Furniture Fall Apart?" We typically don't shout out larger channels, but this channel has like over 1 million subs and gets hundreds of thousands of views on all of their videos. Not all of them, but a lot of their videos. But I think I've watched a bunch of their stuff, and I think their messaging and what they're trying to push is important. This video is specifically talking about basically the downfall of handmade quality furniture in North America and the rise of the cheap IKEA shit that we get from all retailers at this point. So all of the flat pack furniture that most people are buying these days, and how it will not last the way that furniture that was being made 40 years ago would have. And they go into the economics behind why that happened, and it comes down to the thing that has ruined basically everything for all of us, and that is corporate greed.
Yeah.
Sorry to say it, but the millionaires and the billionaires that fucking run all of the corporations want to pinch every penny that they possibly can so that they can make more money, and fuck them, they all suck.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I don't want to dig too deep into economics, but to me, the fact that if your company is making millions and the following year it's doing the same millions is seen as a bad thing is crazy to me. Like, why does everything needs to keep rising?
I know.
It's nonsensical. Like, it
really
so obvious that at some point you cannot just grow forever. Like, why is it the goal to grow forever? It's impossible. But yeah.
Yeah, I've never understood the concept of, you know, the forever growth. Like, if you're still profitable,
yeah,
you're still succeeding as a company. It's when you start to not be profitable that you're, or consistently being non-profitable, right? Like, so if you're seeing consistently over, you know, let's say 2 years, sales declining by X amount, and that's a variable that you can see that it's declining by approximately by over the same rate over X period of time, you know, then you might be having a problem, and you might need to look into why you're having that problem. But if you just made slightly less money than you did the year before, that doesn't mean that you're not profitable anymore. It doesn't mean that your company is fucking failing. It means that sometimes people aren't spending money on your specific product. And that's
exactly.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane to me. They explore a lot into not just the economic stuff, but also like the policies that have gone into place, specifically here in the United States, because they are a United States based YouTube channel. But I'm sure a lot of those same things apply in other places around the world. So
yeah, for sure.
I find their content interesting, and I find corporate greed fucking horrendous. So what are you gonna do? Second one that I want to shout out is a very new channel. They only have 4 videos on YouTube right now. It's a channel called Goldstuff, and this video is "Can you beat Raft without a raft?" I just talked about this game a few weeks ago. This guy apparently does videos. The first 3 videos that he put out were about various speed runs, and this one is a challenge run that he did. And he has a creative sense of humor, and his avatar that he uses is like this, kind of looks like a red Gumby with like a big round smiley face as a head. And he like inserts that character model into games and uses that character model like rigged within like the world of the game, or maybe superimposed on top of the world of the game. I don't know how he's doing his editing to like talk to the camera, which I find funny. And I liked Raft, so I've been watching a bunch of content about Raft. It's the thing that happens when you're a gamer and you're also watch YouTube. So
yeah.
But yeah, good stuff. And then the last one is a video from a channel called Bard Hard, and it's Immersion versus Skyrim's Baffling surrender system. And Max, I don't remember if I'm sure you've told me in the past, but you've not played Skyrim, right?
I have not played Skyrim yet, no.
Okay.
But I know a lot about Skyrim still. Like, it's been on the internet forever, and there's a lot of content and like Dog and everything. So I still know about Skyrim.
Okay. So in Skyrim, if you attack an enemy to a certain point, they will essentially like fall to the ground and fall to their knees and be like, "Oh, I surrender. Don't attack me anymore." But then they'll get back up and maybe start to run away, but then they'll turn around and start attacking you again, which has always been like this weird little quirk of Skyrim. And this video just goes a little bit in depth about like how that's weird and what's actually causing it, and how it kind of breaks immersion, and how it doesn't seem to bother anybody else that this thing happens. Because he points that out very specifically, because he shows like a bunch of people who are doing like their, let's play video on YouTube of like their first time playing Skyrim, and he'll show, the person being like, "Oh, I surrender," and then the person just fucking kills them anyway, like most of us do while we're playing Skyrim. And just kind of pointing out that like, why is this effect even here if most people are just going to ignore it anyway? Good stuff. I watch a lot of Skyrim content, so I'm going to shout out Skyrim content. Skyrim's a great game. Like, it's one of the best games that's ever been made. That's why it's still being talked about 14 years later.
Yeah. I think you've brought a lot of videos that just pique my interest. I love a good challenge run, so I for sure will be watching those in the near future.
Cool.
Have you done any challenge runs yourself?
I have done one challenge run of Elden Ring where I played that game with a bow only, and it was miserable.
Oh, no.
To say the least. I'm not good enough to play that game at like a challenge run type level. The bosses in Elden Ring are very fast, like so much faster than the bosses in Dark Souls. And the bow does like 100 damage per shot at maximum damage. And bosses have like 10,000 health. Like,
yeah.
There were bosses that I spent 6 to 10 hours trying to defeat.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very, like, it was fun to do it, and it was fun to stream it, and it was fun to like push myself to be able to do that. But I don't think I would do that in Elden Ring again. Like, maybe in a different game that I like more, like other than speedrunning. Like I did the Ghost in the Shell speedrunning. That's kind of like doing a challenge run, right? I don't know what other game I would potentially do some kind of challenge run in, like maybe Skyrim, because I love that game and have spent 300 hours in it.
Are you without sucking?
No, I probably would still suck. So part of the problem with the Elden Ring challenge run, honestly, was that I was playing it on console. So there's items that I had to farm to be able to make certain types of arrows that helped the build. And I had to manually farm all those items because I was playing on console.
Okay.
If I were playing on PC, I would have just been like, yes, I know I can go from this bonfire 20 seconds away, pick up the 5 items and return, and do that over and over and over endlessly for 20 hours. Because that's what ended up being probably 10 hours of my run, was just grinding the same items to make the things that I needed to be able to properly be able to fight these bosses. I would have just used like console commands to spawn the things for myself within the game, where I'm playing it on PC, but you can't do that on, PS4.
Yeah. True.
That would have made it a lot easier if I were able to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's so cool. That's so pretty cool.
Yeah. Right. What about you? What are you bringing to us today?
Yeah. My first one is also a big channel, but I've never seen any other of his videos before. It's from a channel called World War Wisdom. And the video is, you don't understand how landmines work and it's Hollywood's fault. And basically is going deep into the notion that when you step on a mine, it won't blow off until you leave your foot from the mine. But actually, that's an Hollywood invention. And it goes through all the types of mines that were used during the wars. And there's not a single one of them that use that kind of mechanism. So it's just a really deep dive into landmines, and it was really interesting. I had no idea this was the case. I have barely any knowledge in landmines, and the fact that he's able to go this deep into this subject was really interesting to me.
Yeah. But you don't get those high tension moments in movies where somebody is stepping on a landmine if they just instantly blow up into a million pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Like he also talks about that. Like, it's fine for a movie scene. Like, that's a fine trope to put into a movie, but at the same time, it like the thing that it breaks the
reality,
real world. Yeah, the reality. Yeah. So people could, like, it's not like if you step on a mine, you will have the time to curse Hollywood from your situation. But still, it's not like you could survive that situation anyway. Oh yeah.
No, you're most likely not surviving that situation.
Exactly.
Like, I'm pretty sure there have been people that have survived mines, but like not without serious bodily harm.
Exactly.
Like the loss of legs.
For sure. Like, that's the first thing to go. Everything else was bonus. All right. And my second video is a lot more joyful, and it's a video I shared with you and people in Discord. It's from a channel called Babe1, Babe2. And before I talk about the video, I check a bit of their channel, and nothing else on their channel really piqued my interest. So it seems like to be like a one-off thing that they did. But that video is awesome. It's called "Can My Dad Beat Dark Souls as His First Video Game Ever?" And it's kind of similar of what you brought a couple episodes ago about gaming for a non-gamer from Rasputin. So his dad is 69. He decided to coach him by playing Dark Souls, like just giving some cues, helping from time to time. And the video is like 50 minutes long of his dad trying to fight like the 3 first bosses in Dark Souls. And what a ride. It's...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I spoiled the ending, so he hasn't beaten Dark Souls yet, but he has rang the first bell. So if you know Dark Souls, that's like half of the first section of the game. So his dad managed to do that. And as I played Dark Souls for my first time in the past few weeks, it was fun to see someone else go through that experience. And actually, it's pretty amazing how his dad went from like not being able to run with his character because the wall was too close to his character to actually beating some bosses. So,
right.
Yeah, I would totally recommend to watch the whole 50-something minutes. It's wholesome, it's funny, it's cute. It's just a great video.
Now, you said I brought a Rasputin video. I don't remember bringing a Raz video to the podcast.
Oh, maybe we just talked about it.
It's very possible we just talked about it because, like, we do watch some of the same content, but I don't remember bringing Raz.
Would have to check in the archive. But yeah, I know we talked about it, so maybe I just assumed it was because I brought it.
That's fine. Like it's not that big of a deal or anything.
No.
Yeah, I'm looking. I looked through the last few episodes, and I don't think I brought a Rasputin video. That's all right. Rasputin is really good. Also, he makes lots of good videos on YouTube.
Yeah, and he has a series where he introduced video games to his partner, and it's kind of the same situation where their partner didn't know anything about video games, and he just sent them on various games of varying difficulty, and he talks about what we take for granted as gamers, like just moving the camera, knowing what the objectives are from the cues that we're given, and when you're not used and you're not familiar with video games, that sometimes gets lost, and people can just do stupid shit while playing video games. And
but all right, great videos. The World War Wisdom one that popped up on my recommended feed, and I didn't click on it. I probably should go back and watch it, because it seemed interesting at the time, but it wasn't what I was looking for, so I didn't watch it. And then I don't think it's popped back up onto my recommended. You know how YouTube does.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't click on it, you might lose it forever.
Yep. But all right, we would move on to emails, but we don't have any emails. So if you would like to reach out to us with any questions, comments, or topics of discussion, please email us at thetrashstation@gmail.com. And we would like to thank Heath Aldrich for our intro and outro music. You can find a link to all of his music on his Bandcamp page at heathaldrich.bandcamp.com.
And we would also like to thank RainbowSavvyDesigns for our logo. Links to both of their works will be available in the show notes.
And you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/scotchandhobbies. I usually stream every Monday and Wednesday around 5 or 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you can find me on social media if you want at Scotch and Hobbies.
And if you want to play some of my games, you can check out my itch.io page at itch.io/Potomax. Otherwise, you can see what I'm playing on Twitter. No, Twitter. I deleted my Twitter earlier this morning. I saved all my tweets, and that's gone. I'm solely on Blue Sky at Potomax, and
good. We don't support Nazis on this fucking podcast.
Exactly. Fuck Twitter. And if you speak French, I have a ton of videos on the good old YouTube at youtube.com/Jeubière.
All right. And if you want to find the podcast, we are on Blue Sky at the Trashstation.
Yeah. That's the name of the podcast.
That is.
Yes. Have a good one.
You too.